Atlanta hosted its 2014 Sports Hall of Fame, inducting several of Atlanta's celebrated athletes such as John Smoltz, Signe Brogdon, Corky Kell, and Antonio McKay, to name a few. These athletes were honored in front of friends and family as they each gave their inductee speech. I got a chance to sit down with one of the inductees, John Smoltz, to reflect back on his legacy and career here with the Atlanta Braves. So tell us your name and who you are.
I'm John Smoltz, former Atlanta Brave.
So when did you come to Atlanta to play for the Braves?
1987, I was traded from the Detroit Tigers to the Atlanta Braves, and 1988 is when I first stepped in the fine stadium of Fulton County Stadium, and never thought it would be 21 years, but it was 21 incredible years, and I've now lived in the city of Atlanta a lot longer than I lived in my home state of Michigan.
Were you happy about being traded from the Detroit Tigers to the Atlanta Braves?
No, I was devastated. I'm a hometown kid playing for the Detroit Tigers. I thought my dream come true to play for the team that I always rooted for, and I got traded to the worst organization at that time, the Atlanta Braves. Never dreaming that I would get the opportunity to pitch at a younger age, never dreaming that it would be the greatest run in baseball history, and of course bringing a championship to the city of Atlanta. Couldn't be prouder, and my whole career will be ever defined by wearing that Atlanta Brave uniform.
So who was the first person that you clicked with when you joined the Braves?
Well, you know, I didn't know anything about Atlanta for the most part, but I knew Dale Murphy. I knew what he represented both on and off the field. Couldn't wait to meet him and see what the man was and how he went about his business, and he was everything that I thought he would be. Then developed friendships with the pitching staff, Tom Glavine, Pete Smith, Zane Smith, and that whole run that we developed, and the young pitchers that were able to put together that incredible run, it will ever be linked together with Greg Maddux, Tom Glavine, Bobby Cox, obviously the time of my life. And to play almost every ounce of baseball, Major League Baseball, with the Atlanta Braves was a dream come true.
So did you think you was going to spend your whole entire career here playing for the Atlanta Braves?
You know, what's interesting about that is I made it a purpose to try and do that. You know, I became a free agent 4 times, but I made it known. I made it known that I wanted to stay my whole career with one organization. I watched players in the Detroit Tigers organization play their whole career for them, and I said, you know, if I'm given the chance, if I'm good enough and they want me, I want to make sure that I stay in the city that really wanted me in a trade, and I was able to do that really for almost the entire career.
How did you feel about your pitching staff that you worked with every day?
You know, we were a young pitching staff. We were kind of dubbed the young guns, if you will, and we were responsible for turning the organization around. And when we added Greg Maddux, you know, it just put another feather in our cap, and it gave us an opportunity to go to the next level. But with guys like Steve Avery and Pete Smith and Tommy Green, and then you add a veteran like Charlie Leibrandt, everybody that we added just meshed really well. And then, of course, getting Greg and winning all those Cy Youngs was something special. And to do it for that many years, 10 years in a row together, I don't think it'll ever be duplicated.
Being that you worked with Deion Sanders, tell us your best Deion Sanders story.
Oh, man, Deion Sanders was an incredible teammate. I loved the man when he was here playing for the Braves. We competed in everything. I'm here to say I did beat him in basketball 1-1. So sorry, Deion, you may be the greatest athlete I've ever been around, but I did get that. He was nothing but fun and had challenged in so many different ways. We had a lot of fun, whether it was fishing, playing Game Boy, or just absolutely getting after it in the outfield. And Deion's one of my all-time favorites.
So whose idea was it to start relief pitching?
Well, you know, it was a combination of really what the organization wanted, and to be able to stay here, you know, it was something that I needed to do to what I thought might help us win a championship. Whatever was going to make us better, I was all for. It wasn't my first choice, wasn't what I really wanted to do, but I was willing to lay that on the line for the sake of winning a championship. That was what I was all about. Wish we could have won more. And then the return back to the starting rotation, same kind of idea. I thought that'd make our ball club better. We talked about it. No one thought I could ever do it. Matter of fact, I'm probably the craziest player anyone's ever thought of, saying, you're crazy, there's no way to do that. But I believed in what I could do. I never doubted it, and certainly the path of my career is an interesting one.
So what current Brave player currently playing do you feel can kind of fill the ironclad shoes that you and several other Brave players left behind?
Well, they've done such a great job, because can you imagine fulfilling the role that, you know, taking place of Tom Glavine or Greg Maddux? And there's a lot of similarities from Chris Medlin to Mike Minor to Julio Teheran. I mean, there's so many great young players that they're not given their fair due of time to take what it takes time to be great. And I really believe their mentality is that of what they're living up to or trying to live up to. And they've done a remarkable job. And the one thing that you can only hope that they do is continue to not be somebody else other than themselves. And that's really my encouragement to them. They're not replacing anybody. They're creating their own destiny, and hopefully they'll win 2 and 3 and 4 rings before it's all said and done.
What does tonight mean to you, being inducted into the Atlanta Hall of Fame?
Atlanta's my home. I grew up in Michigan. I lived there for 18 years, and now I've lived here longer than that. So I really make this my community, the place that I've always wanted to stay with my family. My family was born here, my kids. And so the one thing that I can tell you is that wearing an Atlanta Brave uniform, I was never prouder. I never felt more dedicated to bringing a championship to this organization and this city. And I root for everything that goes on now. I'm still a diehard Lions fan, if that doesn't tell you how loyal I am, because they haven't done anything. But I am true to the team and the uniform that I wore for so long. And it is a very humbling feeling to know that you have the criteria of this group of people that are in the Atlanta Hall of Fame, and a very select few. To be part of that is very humbling.
Thanks for watching. I'm Ruthie Jean-Philippe with CAU TV.